everyone, I'm Stephanie Burns. I'm founder and co-owner of Chic CEO. I'm here today with the ladies of CitySlips. We're actually in New York City today, and I wanted to introduce them to you because they've got a really amazing story, and I wanted to share it with you. So ladies, welcome.
Thank you.
This is Katie and Susie, owners of CitySlips. First of all, ladies, can you just one of you tell our audience a little bit about what CitySlips is and how you came up with the idea?
So CitySlips is based on the notion high heels look great, but kill your feet. Katie and I are both 5'2", and we were living in New York City, and we realized we had to figure out a way to carry backup footwear with us when we were wearing our high heels. So that's kind of where CitySlips was born. CitySlips are foldable, portable ballet flats. They fold in half, and they come with a small pouch. And so when your heels need relief, you just slip these on, and then this little pouch opens up to a larger tote bag so you can throw your high heels inside.
This is kind of the light bulb moment where most women are like, oh my gosh, how did I not think about this? Because it gives you a place to put your high heels after you take them off. And, we found that, the uses are endless. From, the professional woman who's commuting, great for weddings, going back and forth to any event, dinner event, shows.
I wear mine as my regular ballet
We're both wearing them now. I feel like
I was going to say, both of you are wearing them now. This is so amazing. So, ladies, when you came up with this idea, you were in your dorm rooms at NYU, correct? So, I think there's a lot of times where we sit around and we say, yeah, that would be so great if we did this, that would be so fun if we did this. When did you both say, we're doing it? Not it would be great if we did it,
Yeah.
we're doing it, and you started.
Fall of senior year, so fall of 2008. We had both spent the summer kind of meeting up once a week. We both had very entrepreneurial backgrounds, so we loved talking about startups, entrepreneurship, and we knew we wanted to do something before we knew what we wanted to do. So we meet up, and this is really the idea that stuck out. The conversations, fold up flats that we can keep in our purse.
Also, too, launching while we were in school was a blessing in disguise because we had so many resources available to us at NYU. We had professors that really have launched their own companies and gave us great advice. We had access to our target demographic, who was our peers, that could give us great feedback on the product, price points, colors, styles, and we also had the time, to start in between classes and working on the business plan, really kind of just starting the company. So it was really great that we started while we were in school, and our opportunity costs were a lot lower because we didn't have a full-time job. We weren't paying health insurance, so it really enabled us to launch the company and focus our time and attention on it for a couple of months.
Senior year, we used to joke around that we would balance term sheets and term papers. And it really was, we were doing senior year. But that fall, when we went back to school, we enrolled in a business plan class through NYU. And I think that was really it gave us deadlines that we had to meet. I feel like at the end of the day, I have ideas, but then life gets in the way, and all of these, they need to do it, and they have the best of intentions. So kind of having something we had to report to twice a week, with a marketing plan, with an operational plan. Even though 3 years later, all of that has changed drastically from what we projected, that kind of really gave us our start. And then quickly thereafter, we entered a few business plan competitions, which also kind of took us from this idea generation, phase to, okay, we're launching this, we're doing this, we've thought about this for 9 months, we've prototyped.
And the business plan competitions were great because you had the opportunity to maybe win a little bit of extra cash to start your company, and it also gave you deadlines. Right. So for us, just knowing that we needed to finish our business plan or come up with a presentation by a certain date was instrumental in terms of just really staying on track and making sure that we launched in a timely manner.
Right. So speaking of cash, I believe you just told me that you both pooled $5,000 of your own money together. So you actually started this multi-million-dollar company with $10,000.
We did.
That's amazing. That is amazing, because I think women think that to launch something this big, they need all of this upfront capital. And I think you guys can probably agree with me that sometimes you don't need all of that upfront capital.
Right.
You just got
Our mantra,
started.
Exactly. Our mantra has been to start small. Yeah. Always, with any initiative, whether it came to ordering our first batch shoes, a marketing or advertising idea is kind of, let's get as little bit of risk as we stop when we're not, and not have lost too much time or money.
Exactly, and I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs think that they need to have a perfect product by the time that they launch, and that can require a lot of funds that go into that. So for us, we always decided, let's start, get our foot in the door, and tweak along the way. And that really helps you snowball and build more momentum. So when we first started, our product isn't what it is today. It was different materials. I would definitely say it wasn't as high quality.
Right. We've improved.
And we've improved. And we're just so happy we started when we did, because I think we wouldn't have gotten to the point that we've been able to.
That's amazing.
I think there are also a lot of financial resources that women don't necessarily think about up front. So in manufacturing industry, for example, factoring is kind of crucial for us in regards to our cash flow. And what factoring is basically is being able to borrow against your receivables. So we have a bank, and when we have orders coming in, we give it to them. They have a relatively high level of confidence that that order is going to be okay. They take on that risk, pay a little bit percentage-wise for them to do so, and then we can borrow up to 80% of our receivables. But that's something that you need sales history and track record to do. So starting small and being at least able to show somebody something, it allows more financing opportunities to open up after the fact.
So when you started, did you just start doing retailing online, and then you moved into distribution and other?
So essentially we got some great press in the New York Daily News, Forbes, New York Magazine, and from there we just started calling up independent boutiques and asking them if they wanted to set our product. So, a lot of the things we would say is you're just featured in this publication, and we think it would be a great item for your store. So we started there, and we also did online. And the great part about online is we're able to sell full retail versus wholesale.
Right.
And one way the way we actually figured out who to, get on the phone and call first was we Googled other people that fell under that fashion solution categories. It was definitely becoming more popular at the time. Spanx was blowing up, so there was this awareness that women want items that are combining fashion and function. So we, would look for products that we felt were similar. We call the buyer and say, we know you have this section of your store. We think we'd be a great fit, given that you already carry this, this, and this. And a lot of people now put where they're selling their product online. So it was relatively easy for us to get those phone numbers, those emails to kind of get started.
And also too, just doing our homework on the research front and seeing what other items sell in that fashion function space, it really allowed us to learn different price points that we want. We didn't want anything that was too expensive, because our product is more of an impulse buy and it is more of an accessory. So I feel like going out and seeing what else is out in the market that you can kind of emulate or learn from is a really great starting point as well.
Very cool. So I'm sure you get asked a lot by other women, especially because you two are so young and you've already had so much success with what you're doing. What do I do? Where do I start? What's the best piece of advice you can give to a female entrepreneur just starting out?
I would say just do it. If you have an idea, start somewhere, tweak along the way.
Momentum is huge.
Yeah, momentum is huge. That's kind of something that we live by.
Yeah.
It's just, don't be scared, just kind of jump right in.
I think another kind of words of wisdom that we give out to a lot of people who ask about our story is to talk about your idea pre-launch. Some people don't necessarily agree with that frame of thought, but that worked very well for us. I felt like starting senior year, we were talking about this company as if we had already sold $1 million of the product, and just kind of that attitude and putting it out there, getting feedback from people about ideas or parts of the product you might not have thought about yourself. At the end of the day, it takes a lot of time, energy, and money for someone to steal your idea. So we've always found that talking about it has given us more benefits than detriment.
Nice. Yeah, that's so funny you say that, because we were just discussing, Chic CEO really started in my living room. I brought all my girlfriends together to talk about, if you're starting a business, where do you start and who do you talk to and what questions do you have? So I really think that getting feedback from not only your target demographic, but just the people around you is so valuable, so valuable.
And it's free. So it makes it even better.
Indeed it is. So one of our most favorite questions that we love to ask for Chic CEO is, what is your favorite mistake?
Our favorite mistake. New York Daily News.
Yeah. So we did start talking about the company probably
maybe a little bit too early actually.
And we had a website up that wasn't fully functioning.
Our logo was not
Our
finalized.
logo was not finalized.
E-commerce was not set up.
I don't think we were even incorporated.
2 days before.
2 days before we incorporated.
The shoes arrived to my parents' house.
Luckily, about 1,000 shoes arrived to Katie's parents' house, which we called our Long Island Distribution Center.
That was our first warehouse.
Yeah.
My mom and dad were thrilled about that.
And we started talking to different professors a couple months prior about what we wanted to do after graduation. And there was a press opportunity with New York Daily News. We interviewed with the writer back in February.
She came to our dorm room, she videoed, she
Took
took pictures. It's like a real operation.
Yeah. And we never heard from her for, I would say, 3 to 4 months. And we just figured that the article wasn't launching. And
I forgot about it.
Right. And June 1st of 2009, we woke up with calls, emails from our friends saying, you guys are the centerfold of the New York Daily News. Wow. And it was about a 5 by 8 picture, I think, of us just holding the shoes in our dorm room. And I kind of talked about the idea. And we had so many people reaching out to us.
We called our web guys, screamed like, you have to set up PayPal, shopping cart right now. He was like, what's going on? I thought this was like a month away.
And to this day, we say New York Daily News as one of our best press opportunities. And so I don't think that we would have had that if we didn't start what we started, even though everything wasn't finalized.
Everything was
kind of
scrambled.
We had just finished our finals 2 weeks before that, and we had kind of given ourselves the summer to launch it. And I think one of the benefits of that happening was it made us start. You know, we couldn't delay anymore. Our names were out there, the product was out there, and so, you know, I think sometimes a lot of entrepreneurs, they delay, they want everything to be perfect, and it's never going to happen. So, you know, that write-up on our story was kind of like, okay, you're launched, June 1st, 2009 it is, like, let's figure this out.
That's great.
So it ended up working out in the end.
That's great, and we hear that a lot from other women entrepreneurs, you know, and I think that as women, we want things to be perfect, we want it to be right before we show it to the world, you know, that's kind of, it's a birthing for us, it's something that we love, and we put out in the world, and oh my God, you know, so we want it to be perfect, we want it to be right, but we really have to remember that it's never going to be perfect, it's never going to be right, it's always going to be changing, and just get started, and you'll just figure it out along the way.
That's something that we also believe into is having a quick bounce back rate. You're going to have mistakes. No matter how much preparation and different things you think can go wrong is probably the one thing that you think never could go wrong, and you just have to get over it. I kind of think of us as like little punching bags. If something knocks us down, you know, we might cry about it, but we get right back up. And I feel like having a quick bounce back rate is so important because it's a roller coaster. You know, so.
Totally agree. I always say that it's really great to find a support system too around you of other people that totally believe in what you're doing and your vision. I can tell you so many times when I was starting Chic CEO that I would call Jody, that I would call my friend Misty, or I'd call my friend Tanya and just say, remind me why I'm doing this again, this is the stupidest idea, nobody's going to like it, everybody's going to hate it, and they sat me down and reminded me that there's value in what you're doing, you're just having a rough time, a rough day, you know, get back on the horse, and I would, and I'm validated by the company every day, so I think that's a great piece of advice. Thank you so much, ladies, so much for chatting with us today. I think that everybody can learn from your story, and it's so inspiring, and you guys are doing great. We can't wait to see what you're up to next.
Thank you for coming and visiting us. Yeah. We're excited for the launch party tomorrow.
Go to New York!
Go to New York.
All right, ladies, thank you so much for watching.